Welcome back here for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 794, we're going to talk about Linessa, Zephyr Mage. Now, back in Future Sight, there were 5 legendary creatures, one for each color, and they all had grandeur abilities, which are completely meaningless to Commander. Back before they designed for Commander or multiplayer. Those were the days. Anyway, so for 4 mana, by the way, I love this future shifted frame, is what they call this frame. For 4 mana, we get a 3/3 legendary human wizard with X blue tap. Bounce a creature with CMC X. Okay. The grandeur ability, not even going to read it because it's kind of blank here. Blue may be the color that we could make that work. You could put in the helm and make non-legendary copies and then bounce the original to your hand, and then I just don't. It's that's many cards to make a mediocre combo work. So I had to come up with something for Linessa to build it, and upon researching, I noticed that most people did wizards. Either tribal humans or tribal wizards, and that wasn't, I don't know, that wasn't a thing that appealed to me. So I was like, well, she's a blue legend, good enough for me. So I did blue legends, legendary tribal pretty much. And I mean, as it turns out, a lot of them are actually wizards. But let's look at our blue legendary creature, shall we? We have everybody's favorite homunculus, Fibblethip. Naban, Dean of Iteration. You know, it is a wizard thing. Tetsuko Umezawa, the Fugitive. Isior, Wardwing Familiar. I'm just going to mess it all up. Cosima, God of Voyage. Emery, Lurker of the Loch. It's not bad, you know. Kaho Minamo, Historian. Kefnet, the Mindful. Rain, Academy Chancellor. Now, granted, this card probably should not be in the deck. It is a blue legend. It does fit, but to actually use her, yeah. It's a slot. Baron, Tolarian Archmage. I had Rain, I had to have Baron. Actually, I had Baron, so I had to have Rain. Lawan, Cephalid Empress. Bouncing all your opponent's blue creatures, and then they can't play blue creature spells? Talrand, Sky Summoner. Jalira, Master Polymorphist. I love this flavor text. You can become anything if I just put my mind to it. Charax, the Raging Isle. Pretty good for mono blue. Narumeha, Master Wizard. Inga, Rune Eyes. Gotta have that Traxos, because I mean, you know, most of the deck is historic. Artifacts, legendary sagas. There's no sagas, but artifacts and legendaries. Whew, that's a bunch. Azami, because, you know, she taps draw a card herself, and then other wizards. Soramaru, First to Dream. Equal number of cards in your hand. Okay. Zahid, the Djinn of the Lamp. Atemsis, All-Seeing. Kind of a, you know, maybe a win con? Or, well, a kill con? Eligith, Crossroads Augur. Gadwick the Wizened. I mean, that's a cast a blue spell, tap a non-land permanent, and, you know, that whole draw X thing is pretty good. Then our last creature is Lorthos, the Tide Maker. That's a beast. So let's get into our ramp, shall we? Because some of these things are pretty expensive, i.e. Lorthos. You know, we have the High Tide, Sky Diamond, Silver Mirror, Armillary Sphere. Armillary Sphere, good for decks that want cards in hand, you know, because it does put 2 2 basic lands in your hand. And, you know, you're not missing land drops. Either way. Mind Stone. Walking Atlas. Tapping to drop lands. That's cool. Letter of Acceptance. You can sack to draw a card. Replicating Ring. I've had Replicating Ring get there, actually. It was in the Proliferate deck, yeah. Kefnit's Monument. Worn Power Stone. Unstable Obelisk. Alloy Mirror. Cisse's Ring. Colony Gem. Dreamstone Hedron. And, of course, Jorah's Familiar, making your historic spells cost 1 less. Now, one thing I did put was a Heartstone in here, because a lot of those legendary creatures have activated abilities. This particular Heartstone has been activated 1,000,000 times. It is worn. Heroes Podium. Just, I mean, it's the coat of arms for legends, right? And then some card draw now. Brainstorm. Future Sight. And then we get into the legendary stuff, you know, the Teferi's Ageless Insight. Draw 1, draw 2, you know. Honden of the Seeing Winds. It is legendary. And I put the other Honden, the other shrine in there, the Sanctum of Calm Waters. And the Weatherlight. I don't know that it's card draw. I mean, it deals combat damage. You look at the top 5 cards, you can reveal a historic card from among them, put it in your hand. The rest go on the bottom. So, by attacking, it puts a card in your hand. There's probably not many scenarios where this is going to not hit something, you know. And besides, it's the Weatherlight. That is one of the most beautiful pieces of art I've ever seen. I still regret to this day not buying the table mat. It's a play mat that's 6 foot wide. It covers the whole. Oh, that was so beautiful. Anyway, now for the other stuff, you know, we have the Black Staff of Waterdeep. If we just want to make, you know, a mana rock, a blocker. The God Pharaoh statue. Just all downside for your opponent. Tetsuma the Dragon's Fang. Getting that dragon. Karn's Temporal Sundering, kind of neat. You know, take an extra turn and bounce permanent. And then Merit Lage's Slumber. That is the reason why all our basic lands are snow islands. Then we have removal. Now, I know Tail's End is probably not the best counterspell, you know. Activated ability, triggered ability, or legendary spell, but it fit the theme, you know. It fit the legendary theme. So, Spell Pierce, Negate, Rewind, Aetherize, bounce all the attackers, In Bolus's Clutches, you know, just to steal it. And then lastly, the Predator Flagship. With enough mana, you know, you can pop a creature a turn. Maybe you can destroy it for 5. Maybe you got to give it flying and then destroy it, you know. But I like the Predator Flagship's good reusable card, you know. Then we have our non-basic lands, of which there is a bunch, but we're going to start with the most obvious one. Seafarer's Quay. All your blue legends gain bands with other legends. Now, banding and bands with other, 2 separate abilities. They're similar. They function all, you know, but bands with other is, it is a rules nightmare to try to explain to someone. And that in and of itself is worth studying up on it and playing with it. Of course, we have our Rogue's Passage, Reliquary Tower, Faceless Haven, because, you know, why not? We're already in snow. Some cycle lands, you know, the Remote Isle, Desert of the Mindful, Temple of False God, Halimar Depths, Mystic Sanctuary. Tyrite Sanctum is pretty decent, you know. Target legendary creature becomes God. Sure. Put a 1/1 counter on it. So, and that's just a tap ability, so we can make, you know, all of our creatures legendary gods. And, you know, have counters on them. So we have Seat of the Synod. We have Mobilized District. Yes, may the odds be in your favor. And then we have Mouth of Ronan. Because, you know, it is creature removal on a land. So, doesn't see enough play, especially for me, mainly because I'm surprised I had that mouth. But that is Linessa, Blue Legends. It's don't know, haven't played it yet. Don't exactly know how it's going to do. Let's see if we can go squeeze this in. Those are going to be rough to get out. Not going to lie. May have to go back once I get some of the original boxes. May have to go back and put those in the shorter box. Maybe just one row I might have to do. That's kind of what I've done with that last row is I'm using the old boxes I had from before when I could get them. That's why so many of these decks are the older decks. I've only got 2 AFR decks left, and obviously one of those will be 800. Coming up fast, so that is what I have got for today. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.